بس كده علي. علي كلمني في الهوكي توكي. علي لو سمعني كده في المايك. انا بجرب المايكات دلوقتي. حاول تسمعها في ودانك كده، بتسمعني؟ علي سامعني كده من المايك؟ انا كده بتكلم في المايك، سامعني؟ كلمني في الهوكي توكي يا علي. ايه؟ علي سامعني في المايك ولا لا؟ كده سامعني كده سامعني كويس؟ تمام. يبقى كده المايك التاني هيبقى تمام برضو. تمام يلا. تمام شكرا. انا اسف على العطل اللي انا بعطله لكم دي والله، بس احنا عشان احنا ستريم فاي غلطه دي صعبه. بنضحك معاك. لا لا يهمك. لا مش عارف اصل انا ما بلعبش في حاجه يعني احنا وصلنا هناك الاوت اللي رايح لك انا ما بلعبش فيه ولا ناحيته. تمام. مش هيبقى في اي مشكله ان انت تطفي او تقفل خلاص. احنا لو طايلين نجرب كل سيشن هنجرب كل سيشن.
احنا ان شاء الله 5 دقايق وهنبدأ السيشن التالتة. تقدروا تبدأوا تقعدوا. مدحت. مدحت وروبرت. مش مصدق ايه؟
يعني عايز
استنوني. اقل من 5 دقايق وهنبدأ تالت سيشن معانا النهارده. اهلا بيكم مرة تانية معانا، ودلوقتي هنبدأ تالت سيشن معانا النهاردة. وخلونا نرحب بمهندس مدحت محمود Chief Digital Transformation at Huawei Northern Africa. وبنرحب كمان بأور بارتنر مستر روبرت وانغ President of WeCar Technology، واللي هيقدموا لنا النهاردة سيشن بخصوص Smart Gas Solution. نرحب بيهم.
مساء الخير. اهلا بحضراتكم، واحنا فخورين للسنه الثانيه على التوالي for the second year in row نيجي نقدم حلول، مش بس حلول جديده لكن حلول مبتكره. احنا بنتكلم على الانوفيشن، ودور الانوفيشن ان احنا نسرع عمليه التحول الرقمي. قبل ما ابتدي السيشن بتاعتي انا عايز اقول حاجه، لان التحول الرقمي بيعتمد على 3 محاور رئيسيه. عشان نقول ناجحين في التحول الرقمي في 3 محاور رئيسيه. في حد من القاعدين يقدر يقول لنا 1 أو 2 أو 3 ايه هي المحاور الرئيسيه في التحول الرقمي اللي بتمس حياتنا؟ انا عندي جايزه باي ذا واي. حد عنده فكره ايه هي المحاور في التحول الرقمي؟ 3 حاجات. الجزء الاولاني الجزء الاجتماعي السوشيال، ده مهم جدا، لازم نحسن الحياه الاجتماعيه. الجزء الثاني هو الجزء الايكونومي الاقتصاد. الجزء الثالث وهو لا يقل أهمية عن الأول والثاني هو الجزء البيئي الانفايرمنت، وده اللي في الآخر بنسميه sustainability الاستدامة. احنا لازم لما نشتغل في حلول التحول الرقمي نشتغل على 3 محاور، يبقى هما الايكونومي والسوشيال والانفايرمنت. فاحنا لما بنبني أي سوليوشن لازم نعتبر ال3 محاور دول. طيب النهارده هنتكلم على سوليوشن جديد في انوفيشن، في احدث تقنيات تكنولوجي زي الاي اي، في حاجه بتمس حياتنا كلها. محطه البنزين، كلنا بنروح محطه البنزين وفي تشالنج وفي تقدم. فالنهارده هنتكلم على سمارت جاز ستيشن. طيب احنا عشان نبني سوليوشن، حضراتكم شفتوا هنا عندنا في البرودكتس في عندنا ستورج، في عندنا اوبتيكال فايبر، في عندنا كونكتيفيتي، في عندنا كاميرات. دي اسمها برودكتس. انا من البرودكتس دي كلها عايز اعمل سوليوشنز. السوليوشن ديت ما نقدرش نبنيها لوحدنا، لازم نشتغل مع شركاء بارتنرز، وده اللي بنعمله هنا في اوبن لاب. اوبن لاب هو فاليو بروبوزيشن وحيده في شمال افريقيا موجوده في سمارت فيليج. اوبن لاب عباره، وهي موجوده عندنا، ممكن حضراتكم تتفضلوا تشوفوها بعد ما نخلص السيشن دي. اوبن لاب تعتمد ان احنا نجيب الليتست تكنولوجي، احدث تقنيه بنقدمها، ونشتغل مع شركاء نبني سوليوشن تساعد في التنميه المستدامه، التحول الرقمي زي ما هشرحه بالتفصيل. وده وظيفه اوبن لاب. فاوبن لاب بنعتمد باختصار شديد، حضرتك شوف الجزء اللي على الشمال هي اللي بنسميها الاي سي تي تكنولوجيز. كل اللي في البوسز في الاجنحه هي دي الاي سي تي تكنولوجيز. بنشتغل مع بارتنر عنده النو هاو، عنده الاندستري نوليدج اباوت ذا سوليوشن، ونشتغل مع بعض. عشان كده بنسميه بارتنرشيب، الشراكه. فالشراكه هي عامل مهم جدا للتقدم للتنميه. عشان الشراكه دي نقدر نخدم قطاعات كتيره، الاديوكيشن، الهيلث كير، ترانسبورتيشن، الانرجي، والسمارت سيتي. السنه اللي فاتت لو كنتوا موجودين معانا قدمنا الهيلث كير وكلمنا الاديوكيشن. السنه دي وقدمنا سمارت سيتي. النهارده هنتكلم على سمارت جاز ستيشن. فده البوزيشن او البروفايل بتاع اوبن لاب في القاهره، واحنا بنغطي شمال افريقيا. اهم حاجه زي ما قلت الانرجي. الانرجي في 3 اجزاء، في حاجه اسمها اب ستريم والمين ستريم والداون ستريم. داون ستريم اللي هي اخر محطه في الانرجي، لما نروح محطه البنزين ونبتدي نفول العربيه، ده اللاست بارت من الداون ستريم. فهي جزء من منظومه الطاقه، جزء من منظومه الانرجي. فاحنا لما نشتغل نحسن كفاءه السمارت الجاز ستيشن، يبقى احنا بنحسن منظومه الطاقه. فبالتالي احنا هنا بنبص برضه واحنا بنبني سوليوشن مع البارتنر على 3 محاور اللي انا قلت عليهم. احنا بنهتم بموضوع الانفايرمنت، فاي سوليوشن لازم يكون له امباكت في الانفايرمنت، لازم يكون له امباكت في الايكونومي، ويشجع الجوب ماركت، ويشجع الكرييشن ويمبروف البيزنس والريفينيو. الجزء الثالث طبعا هو الجزء السوشيال، وبرضه لازم السوليوشن يحل او يساعد في التنميه المحليه. كلنا عارفين الصوره دي. الجزء الشمال دي المحطه كلها المحطات التقليديه، محطه الجاز ستيشن. وطبعا احنا حصل عندنا في السنين اللي فاتت تطور فعلا في المحطات، لكن هنا احيانا بنتقابل المواقف دي. واقف مستني في عربيات كتيره، فبنقف ربع ساعه 20 دقيقه مستني لغايه ما اعمل فيولينج، لما اجي ادفع باخد كاش وادفع للانسان اللي واقف على المحطه. فده التراديشنال. النهارده اصبحت محطه البنزين سمارت، فيها لها دور اكتر من ان انا باخد فيها بنزين، بقى السوشيال جاذرينج. كلنا دلوقتي بنروح محطات البنزين بتلاقي في محلات وبنقدر نقعد فيها، ريستورانتس كمان فيها محلات بتبيع زهور فلاورز، يعني حتى لما تفكر فيها محطه جاز ممكن تروح تشتري فلاورز من نفس محطه البنزين. فحضرتك احنا هنا ده اللي عايزين نوصل له، هو سمارت ستيشن. الرول بتاعها مش بس بيع بنزين، لا انا عايز اخليها سوشيال جاذرينج، فيها سمارت بيمنت، لما اروح كل حاجه بايد اوتوماتيكلي، مش عايز اقف 5 أو 10 دقائق استنى. لما هقف 5 و10 دقائق هيحصل كيو من العربيات، وانت واقف بالعربيه بتستهلك بنزين، بتستعمل البنزين، بتعمل بوليوشن. فاحنا عايزين نشوف التكنولوجيز كلها اللي تحل لنا المشكله دي. ولو شفنا كم عدد محطات البنزين والامباكت بتاعها زي ما قلت في الانفايرمنت، الامباكت في السوشيال، في البيزنس، فبالتالي هي كيس كويسه نثبت منها ان التكنولوجي فعلا ممكن تساعدنا في موضوع تقدم في التحول الرقمي. وانا مش هطول كتير في السوليوشن، انا معانا البارتنر بتاعنا مستر اندرو وونج، هو هيتكلم بالتفصيل، هو هيتكلم بالانجلش بالتفصيل على سوليوشن وازاي بنستخدم احدث التقنيات بما فيها الذكاء الصناعي. يعني احنا ساعات نفكر الذكاء الصناعي ده حاجه بعيده عننا، لا في الواقع لا، هو موجود وبيشتغل، واحيانا كتير احنا بنشوفها كل يوم. الذكاء الصناعي تو بي ديفلوبد لوكالي مع شباب زي حضراتكم من الجامعات. فطبعا اصبح موضوع الذكاء الصناعي عمليه اساسيه ان احنا نعمل التنميه في مجال التحول الرقمي. فانا مش هطول على حضراتكم في السوليوشن، فحضراتكم باي اتنشن للسبيتش لان هسال اسئله واللي هيجاوب برضه له جايزه. فانا مستر اندرو بليز كم.
شكرا مستر ماهر. Mr. Akhel, that's about the only Arab I can say other than Shukran. Good afternoon, ladies and gents. My name is Robert Kwong. Obviously, I speak very little Arab, but I've been able to understand Mr. Mahat a little bit about environment, economy, and also society that we care for. And the entire digital journey, particularly about gas station, is the topic that I'd like to share with you in the coming 20 or 25 minutes or so. Now, myself, I came from a background of an oil company as well, years ago, particularly with Shell, ExxonMobil, and today we're actually working together with Huawei into providing digital solutions to gas stations particularly. Now, when we right. It's a bit of a challenge. Right, okay, right, here. Oh, that's forward. This is forward. Yeah, all right, thank you. Now, yeah, this is us. Basically, we are an eco-partner together with Huawei, as I mentioned before, and we'll come back to that a little bit later. Now, a lot of you would be very, very much interested in terms of where we are for digital transformation. In every aspect in our life, we talk about digital transformation, aren't we? But where we are at today, particularly for gas stations. Now, if you think about a digital journey, it's not just by a fortnight you completed the entire journey. A journey completes only when you go through certain stages. The first stage, I would call it digitization, and then digitalization, and afterwards, the entire transformation itself. Why is it so complicated? Because today, we see digitization as what? It's basically turning analog into your cell phone. Everything that is on paper is now 1010 digitized, so that you can see things on your computer. You can also use your cell phone to understand information and do communication on a cell phone as well. Now that's, I would just call digitization. What about digitalization? Basically, we are providing digital information to people or to organizations to change their walk of life, to change their process, so that they can actually do things better, faster, and more effectively. Things like, for example, today you don't need to go to a bank, right? You can just do all these transactions, or most of the transactions, on your cell phone. Now, that's beyond just digitization. This is digitalization to me, because you are changing the world. You are changing the process from a very tedious manual processes into digital process, which basically simplify what you do, and therefore using technology that would help you save time and save money as well, ultimately. Okay? However, when we talk about the entire digital transformation, it's not just about digitization, putting things onto your cell phone and then doing 1 or 2 transactions only. Today, exactly, every aspect in our walk of life, we see everything digitalized, but not yet integrated in a way that we wish to see. Very simple. Let's take gas station as an example. Today, when you go to a gas station, I think most of you are driving, right? Anyone drives? Okay, very good. You all are richer, having cars, okay? At least you drive yourself. Okay, you go to a gas station, okay? So, any promotion at the gas station? Maybe, huh? One time I went to, oh no, you said no. There must be some promotion, but you didn't notice it, yeah? One time I actually walked into a gas station and then they offered me some promotion. And I still need to use a pen to write down my name and my email address so that I can put into a lucky draw box for a lucky draw. Right. Well, I thought if it's 10 years ago, I can still say okay. 20 years ago, that was the way we do it. But I can't imagine today you are still doing that. Yeah? And at least, as I said, you digitized your application on a cell phone so that I don't need to hold a pen, which had been held by 1,000 other people. Because of COVID, I don't want to touch anything, not mine, right? So in that sense, how you actually can digitalize some of the promotion, especially in terms of interacting with customers, would be very important, isn't it? And today, we still see a lot of promotion, for example, like this. Get 4, buy 4, get 1 free, right? In the past, we have something like this. Yeah, I am an old guy, so I used to have this coupon and everything on my wallet, and then you go to a shop, and then you have this stamp. You chop it, and then you have this chop stamp onto your card, and then you redeem for a free gift. Today, I still see retailers, particularly gas retail stations, are doing that. This is not digitized, obviously not digitalized, right? And this is, I see, especially in this part of the world, a lot of things that we can actually do together, how we can bring up, especially young guys like you, okay? Now, let's talk a little bit more about how we can transform the world. Today, if we understand, even though we have certain activities digitalized, okay? So we still not being integrating them together so that we can make the best use of our digital information. Take a look, another example. You do a refilling at a gas station. Now that would provide an information to finance and to our cash register in a sense that, let's say, you have 30 liters of octane 95 put into your car. Do I speak too fast, or you understand what I mean? Okay, all right. Now, if you do have a question or my English is not very good, just hold your hand and then I'll get someone who can translate for me in the local language, okay? And you can teach me Arab as well later on, okay? Now, that piece of information, however, is not integrated with when you pay the station. Let's say I put 2,000 pounds for the payment, and they don't know my sales transaction of 2,000 pounds, 30 liters of gas, and then together with my payment, these two information doesn't click together. And that means end of the day, if from the cash register and also from our finance saying that your gas station should have received 1,000 pounds, for example, but end of the day, at the till, you received only 900. You don't know that shortfall of 100, where it came from. So if you're not actually integrating your pieces of activities together with the information that generated, you fail the task of a digital transformation. You understand what I mean? And end of the day, you're as a customer, as I mentioned, do you have any promotion? And after refilling, does the retail station know you? Next time you go over there, things as usual, you still pay the same. You don't have any loyalty coupons, do you? Yeah? I think ExxonMobil, I'm not going to do any kind of a promotion for them, or maybe Total. Mobile, they have, register your cell phone number so that next time you go, you would have a little bit of a promotion. Yeah, you should go to mobile and see whether or not basically giving you a promotion. But it's tedious because they still need to get your cell phone number every time you are leaving. And during COVID, I don't even want to speak to somebody else. Yeah? So in that regard, if I can actually very conveniently inside the car using my cell phone, or maybe automatically, there would be some payment linking my loyalty system, linking promotion, linking my all information together in one piece. That should be the way that we expect for a sales station, for a gas station to do. So that's the reason why when we first start off a digital journey, we say, number one task, no matter which part of the journey you are now at, we would try to integrate every individual digitalized activities together into a customer data platform, we call it. Why it's called data platform? Obviously, everyone knows because in a digital world, you have 1010. These are data. When data is being churned and analyzed, they become information. I need information. What information you need? You need to provide yourself information about your payment, right? You need to pay well. You need information about your staff, whether they actually work well, whether they are diligent, or whether they are in terms of, in terms of the operation efficiencies and stuff like that. Obviously, you want to know your customer as well. So the key ultimatum of this digital journey is to provide interaction and interactiveness with our customers through a mobile application, because today everyone has a cell phone. Tell me who doesn't have one. Okay, I'll give you one if you don't have. Okay, a Huawei, all right? Okay, but you need to answer some questions. Later on, I'll ask you, all right? Then you might win a Huawei cell phone. Okay, good. And not to mention, we do have a lot of things that we can interact with the customers. These are all missed opportunity today. And I can see a lot of activities, especially in terms of, putting up your brand, let your customers to know more about you, pushing the right content. In marketing, we call content management. How you actually can understand what customer wants would be the secret and opening the door of a real digital journey. That's what we want to achieve. And of course, into promotion time, in order to achieve that, you need Huawei, of course, not just WeCar. So Huawei actually provides the infrastructure, the connectivity particularly, as well as how we store this data and analyze them through some data analytics and algorithm, how we make sense of this data. And for us, WeCar technology, we're basically based in China, but then now we have an overseas operation trying to expand our activities and collaborate with Huawei to provide such digital information and technology to this part of the world as well. And in China, we have been operating about 8,000 stations, and people like Shell, PetroChina are some of our customers as well. Now, all right, now, so that's a little part of an introduction of what we can do. And what we are now doing is basically still back to the business of a gas station. A gas station is very important to keep safe. So therefore, management to make sure the station being safe is important, isn't it? Now, beyond management, you need to provide services to your customers. And through those services, you push information to the customers so as to make sure these customers will come back again through some smart marketing we're trying to provide for them. So in that regard, let's talk about management first. Today, we still see a lot of cowboys smoking at a site, at the gas station, making cell phone calls. Do you use your cell phone at a gas station? No, never, huh? Okay, but inside the car is okay. Okay, you don't want to use your cell phone because it's generating some static electricity. That might be some people telling you it's a myth. You can still use it now at your own risk if you use it. All right. And on the other hand, thou shalt not smoke at a gas station. The other day when I actually look at the gas station, they are offloading product. Okay, what we do? No, they're offloading product, and I can see that it's basically if there would be someone smoking just next to it. Oh, God forbidden. It's something that you don't want to do. So, yes, question.
The car, if it works or not?
Very good question. People ask, should we switch off the engine of the car while refilling? Okay, let me do a poll in here. Who says that you need to switch off your engine when refilling? Raise up your hand. So few. Okay. So could say that you should not, or you do not need to switch off your engine. Raise up your hand. Okay. Be safe, huh? Next time I don't want to travel with you. Okay, particularly as a gas station. You need to switch off your engine, please. Now, I know that it's uncomfortable, especially inside the car when it's 50 degrees outside. Now, however, for safety's sake, especially during the nozzle is with you, switch off the car. Because there might be some hazards around, because of the recirculation of the pipings and everything inside the car. So therefore, I would advise people to switch off their engine for just about a minute or so. That would help a lot. Yeah? Do I answer your question?
The system of smart gas station can hear engine is still running to prevent.
Good question. Very good question. This gentleman is asking. Well, basically, you're ahead of me. You know what? Because at a gas station, which is smart, then you'll be able to detect some activities that you don't want it happen at the site. So what's next is that if, for example, at a smart gas station, we do have HD cameras. And with that cameras, we do have visual analytics to analyze. If you, for example, making an action like this, I would judge that you are actually smoking. And that action will trigger an alarm signal from our database and then sending over to the control room. And in the control room, you might have a guy, like your station manager or whoever, would come out and do the intervention. Does that make sense? Well, today you would say, no need. I do have CCTV surveillance cameras. Why do I need this intelligent, smart activity? Exactly. Human, if you have been to a control room, there might be monitors, right? You have all these monitors. And then a security guy sitting here looking at the monitors. You think this guy is really looking at the monitors? Of course not. Maybe sleeping, maybe playing cards, or maybe smoking inside. Right? So, of course, we still need this security person, but then we need him to be vigilant if he heard something like an alarm coming from our HD smart camera, and then he will go out and intervene. That's what we need him to do. You have a question? Exactly. Okay. Sorry? My time.
Time. What's happening?
Okay. I thought you were chasing me about the cell phone. Okay. It's fine. All right. Now, so, of course, we still have a lot of unsafe activities. Mind you, next time, if you go to a gas station, you see a lorry, a truck, a fuel truck, especially offloading, don't come near to it. It's very dangerous, I tell you. Okay? One time I actually witnessed, just a couple of weeks ago, I saw the driver offloading, and I see spill of gasoline on the floor. Okay. You see, this is because he is not observing some standard operating procedure that he ought to do. Now, what happens if these guys are not following procedures? What if we do have HD cameras who would be able to detect, yeah, what he does and what he does not do, and that would help a lot. And if he does not do anything which is basically comply to what he should do, then there would be an alarm. Yeah, would that be good? So therefore, we can make use of these cameras to be safe, right? That would good to the environment. You know, to the test of Mr. Madhat about, you know, in a digital transformation, we need to be good to the environment, isn't it? That's foremost important. We need to be good to the economy. And as well, we need to build a social responsibility and interacting with the people. Now, of course, if the station is not safe, yeah, then you're not meeting all the three of them, basically. Yeah, you destroy the economy if there would be a blast or if there would be some sort of an accident, not to mention social responsibility. So, in other words, if we do have these cameras, what else we can do? What if, next time, if our camera would be able to scan your vehicle license plate? Exactly. Yeah? And for example, my license plate is 12345. And next time when I come to the station, and then I register myself as Mr. Robert with 12345 license number, they can see it's me coming in. And our forecourt attendant will be able to cleverly, oh, Mr. Robert, thank you for coming again. Yeah? And he can also see that, hey, too smart. And any promotion like from Huawei cell phone, I think she earns just a very good latest cell phone model, which is the latest. Anyway. Well, yes, exactly. That's what we call digital marketing. If, for example, we know who you are, and from your past consumption record, because, for example, if you come to my station, and then you often not just refilling with fuels, you also would consume, for example, a cup of coffee, or maybe you have a Krispy Kreme donut as well. So I would then say, hey, you like coffee. What about next time, after refilling, I have a free coffee offer for you? Or promotion I got. However, I see this gentleman, yeah, he doesn't actually consume any coffee at my station at all. Why would I give him a free coffee? For him, it's indifferent. And today, we have a lot of this so-called digital marketing, which doesn't make sense. Last week, I received an email from a bank, my bank HSBC, and they sent me a free Baskin-Robbins ice cream. And I never like ice cream. I don't have ice cream because I'm too fat already. Okay, so in that regard, sending that promotion to me, I thought is senseless. Doesn't make sense. But if I'm a coffee lover, which I am, yeah, if you send me, you know, a Baskin-Robbins, let's say, a free coffee for me or cappuccino, I will be very happy. So that means if this gentleman driving a car into my station, and I understand that he likes a discount, so instead of a coffee coupon, I provide him with a discount onto my fuels or onto some other groceries or other thing from our convenience store. That makes more sense than a blind promotion, right? Today, when we talk about digital marketing, young guys, okay, don't just believe it's digital. It happens to be on your cell phone, which is a piece of message of promotion. Looks like digital marketing. Yes, it's digital in terms of appearance, but then the information that they have is not being digitized because they still don't know who you are. Today, when you go to a station, and if we do have this proposition in here, we'd be able to help the station manager and the organization to understand who you are, then I can target you very accurately. Yeah? That's one of the things that we can do. Well, of course, in terms of operational efficiency, we can also be better. Because today, you come to a station, yeah, anyone how long do you have to stay at a station for refilling? And then payment, and then off you go. How long a time you spend? 5 minutes? 10 minutes? 10 minutes? 10 minutes? You know, it's way too long. A 30 liter gas that you need, yeah, on average, you know, the dispenser would just need about at most 90 seconds. Think about it. You stay at a station for 10 minutes, but the actual activity that you require, that you need, is just 1.5 minutes. And where time goes. Yeah? Imagine that. What if we can slide that? Yeah? By what? Because you need to understand why people stay at a station for that long. Okay? Other than queuing. Yeah? Let's say after queuing, you go to the pump, and then at the pump refill, and then you need the guy to actually take attention of it, you know, taking care, and then I need to reach out to my pocket of the wallet, you know, pay, and then, you know, get change and coming, and then restart the engine and all this stuff. Okay, what if you can go over there, and then we understand what you need already, we fill it up, and then after refilling, off you can go. That's exactly what we do in China. Is she working for Huawei? How does she know everything that I'm going to talk about? Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, sorry, you have a question.
I want to ask a question, please. If can I connect the camera to the another cameras of the town? If a car is stolen before, it can send an alarm to a police. The stolen car is in this station or no?
Well, of course you can do that. It depends on the procedure. We call it a protocol. How you want to manage your security. Some organizations may say, okay, if there would be some alarm coming in, I need to investigate what's going on first. If when after the investigation, I understand that this is something that I need a police attention, then I call a police. You know? And some other organizations maybe, you know, when you have the information that you detected from your camera or whatever, which is illegal, then you send that piece of information directly to the police.
Yes.
Yeah. But I would recommend not directly to the police, because sometimes some of these activities, you know, when the police come over, it might be too late. If you have a guy there, which is your station manager, you know, doing the human intervention should always be the first of call. Yeah? And if the guy cannot manage it, then you call the police right away. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. You're reporting the police is 911 or is 999 or is what number you call the police? 123. Yeah, I was so confused. Everywhere I go, sometimes, you know, because I watch so many Hollywood movies, it's always 911. Yeah? It's 123. Right, okay. I remember that. All right? So next time you call 123 if you see anything that you cannot intervene.
I want to ask another question, please. I can connect this camera to the new cars with electricity. These new cars not to work with benzene. Not cars not work with fuel, like Challenger, Dodge Challenger 2023, not work with fuel. Don't need the station, need only electricity. Electric, work by electric only. The new cars.
Sorry, I might not get your question. Okay, can you repeat a little bit your question about?
The new cars.
New
cars
car.
that don't work with fuel.
Right.
Can I connect the camera, not in the station, another camera? When it sees a car this connected to electricity, can turn it off or not? When
You
it
mean
is
the
stolen.
engine of the car?
Yes.
Okay, now you need to, because visually we might not be able to detect whether the car has been switched off. Right, now I'm afraid it's a little bit of a challenge. Because the camera itself, if for example you listen to the sound, some good ideas about, you know, listening to whether the engine is running, etc. You need to have very sensitive mic and into acoustics. And that's a bit of a challenge. And every car sounds differently. Yeah, so maybe you have a V8 engine, it's very noisy, but you have a, you know, just a linear 4 and it's very, very quiet, and it's so difficult to detect that. I think that's a good question, but it's difficult to manage at the moment. So still, well, yes.
Reduce some questions and speed up. We still have minutes time.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay. So I'm sorry, I was, you know, people doing this sign to me. Basically, I have to rush a little bit because I'm speaking too much already.
It can be detected if I have the information about the driver and HT, the camera, detect the car number and the body of the car. If all of this detected, and I have integration with information of the driver, I can see if his car use electricity or fuel.
Okay.
Yes, if
All right.
I have a lot of data.
I think Huawei should hire her. Okay. Are you a university student or, you know, we save that a little bit later, how we can actually make sense of detecting something like not switching off the engine.
Yes.
All right. That's a good question. Yeah. Sorry, I need to keep it a little bit later. Yeah, can you hold the question a little bit, and then let me go through 1 or 2 more slides, and then we come back to you. Okay? Right. Now, the other thing is about smart marketing, we just mentioned. And then in terms of refilling, now I understand what you need. For example, 95 is your regular core, and then your 98, you're more, you have more money, and you're driving a better car, so it's 98. So we understand that. So that's why sometimes when my attendant, I don't need to even ask you. You can just stop by, and then it says 98, and then I fill up 98, and off you can go. And then the calculation of the payment is easy. It's basically just already linked with your payment gateway, which is a credit card or your Apple Pay or your, we call it a charge card, all right? So these are some of the things that we can do at the gas station. Now, I'd like to bring you to another level of information technology management in the sense that now you have collected so much of this information. What are you going to do about it? For example, we use the bank card every day, right? And the bank actually collected so much of your information, but they seldom do anything about it. Think about it. If you're running a gas station, no matter your whatever respect you are from, if you collected this data, I beg you to change that and analyze the data and convert them into information. Young guys, that's your duty. Yeah? And using those data, you can help the organization or your team to perform better, no matter from an internal staff management point of view, from the operation site management point of view, or in terms of how we can do better and smarter marketing, interacting with our customers. These are all this information we call metric, we call performance metric, that you can actually keep track of your station. Think about it. Today, when we talk about gas station, we're not talking about just one single outlet or one station. We're talking about multiple hundreds or even thousands of stations. So aggregation of data and how we can actually turn this data into information is really like a piece of art. Don't underestimate it. Now today we do have data engineers. So what they do, data engineers. I hope you're not, I'm not going to hire you if you are one. Because you're too smart. You're smarter than me and no. Okay. Now, that's what I say. If you do have a smart mind in here, how you actually use data to help yourself is a piece of art that I would ask all of you young guys to take a look at. How you can turn really a digital information into a journey that Egypt, particularly Egypt, the country, will want you to be. Okay? My ending note here is thank you for Huawei, because without them, this won't happen. Because you need the IT infrastructure, isn't it? Not to mention all these devices in terms of sensors, in terms of measurements, all these equipment that you found. No matter it's a payment, no matter it's a gas dispenser, everything will be connected, okay, internally, as well as internet-wise from an IoT perspective, they need to be connected. And at the same time, storing them through the message bus and then going up into the cloud. And if you do have some local, we call it the local servers that you need, then you can also equip yourself with as well. Now, in terms of connectivity, it's also right. It's also very important that we do have some of these right, that's right. Some of these, well, because of the time, yeah, if you do have, for example, your interest or your career or what you are, into cloud computing, as well as some storage devices, servers, etc., you might wish to actually come over to our Huawei. There will be a lot of experts around to let you understand how they actually equipped the entire ICT strategies, in a sense, to provide the entire infrastructure that we would need it. Okay? So in the interest of time, I better stop here, Mr. Mahat. And well, earlier on, Mr. Matt had actually challenged me into saying that, hey, how would your smart gas station would survive the tests of energy? Remember? Is it energy? What else? Environment. And what else? Social, basically, yeah. in order to survive the tests of environment, particularly social as well as economy, I would bet you guys, going back, when you try to implement something for your organization or work together with Huawei, you need to test yourself whether you go through this limit test of environment, economy, and social. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Andrew, so much for this. Actually, I'm very happy ان احنا كان في interaction. ده معناه ان في social impact at least. فقبل ما انتهي ممكن لو في حد عنده سؤال. اولا احنا البوث عندنا ممكن انا عارف فيه اسئله كتيره، فالبوث موجود والديمو ممكن حضراتكم تشوفوه بنفسكم، ده موجود. في حد عنده سؤال؟ انا هاخد سؤال واحد بس، اتفضل.
حضرتك ايه هي البروجرامينج لانجوج اللي بيستخدموها في البروتكت الداتا والانالايز ليها؟
What is okay? This is a question for you. What type of programming language to protect the data security?
Well, there would be security protocols according to some of these, encryption and etc. It doesn't depend on what language you are using, basically. Yeah.
Right. Thank you. أنا عندي سؤال. لو حد يقدر ينام 3 main technologies استخدمناهم في السوليوشن دوت وفي شنطة كذا. أنت 3 بس عايزين 3 technologies. لا technologies specific. Be specific. Not IT. Everything is IT. That was like 2 years ago. Now we have to be specific.
Computer vision.
Computer vision, very good.
ثانية algorithm. لا ما ده تبع الكمبيوتر فيجن برضو. I can say data analysis and data engineering and data center. Also
okay.
I use cybersecurity according to AI too. Just
How we transfer the data؟ ازاي بننقل الانفورميشن؟ محتاج ايه؟ بصي وراكي.
Cloud. فين وين ورايا؟
Connectivity, right؟
Connectivity.
كويس؟ ايه تاني؟ Connectivity عشان ننقل الداتا ده مهم. وقلنا الاي اي الفيجن ثالث واحدة.
Integration between all of this.
والانتجريشن بيرفكت. ما هي مش تكنولوجي لكن اتس اوكي.
اوكي.
طبعا هننهي السيشن عشان التايمينج، بس انا عايز الكي بوينت يا جماعه. الكي بوينت كل دي تكنولوجي، والتكنولوجي بتتغير كل يوم. النهارده في الاي انا حاسه في الكلاود كومبيوتنج، في الكلاود اتسلف، في الالجوريثم زي ما هي قالت. فاحنا دورنا ايه؟ دورنا ايه معاكم؟ ان احنا ازاي هنطوع نعمل ادابتيشن للتكنولوجي عشان يخدمنا احنا. الثلاث حاجات اللي قلناهم ده اهم حاجه، لان التكنولوجي زي ما بقول بتتغير، وده مش بيعتمد بس علينا على الشركات اللي بتنتج التكنولوجي. الادابتيشن بتاعها بيحتاج لوكال اكسبيرينس، الناس اللي زي حضراتكم في الجامعات في الشركات الناشئه، وده بيعتمد على الشراكه. هي قالت الانتجريشن بيحصل بين اطراف كتيره. فهي الكي مسج اللي عايزين نقولها ان السوليوشن هو سمارت، هيحل لنا مشاكل كتير في الثلاث مراحل اللي قلنا عليهم. لكن في الاخر خالص هي النو هاو، ونبتدي نتعلم اي حاجه بنعملها لازم نخدم بيها جهات زي ما قلنا.
نمبر 1 ان يبقى كل الافراد اوير بالتكنولوجي وازاي يترين اصلا ان احنا نستخدمها.
تمام، واحنا اللي بنعمله كده ان بنوري التكنولوجي الليتست تكنولوجي، وعندكم كل البوث عندنا فيها الليتست تكنولوجي. هنشوف الاستورج، هنشوف الكونكتيفيتي، هنشوف الاوبتيكال فايبر، هنشوف الكاميرات الذكيه انتليجنت كاميراز. كل الكلام ده بتحتاجوه، هي دي التكنولوجيز المفروض نتعلم عليها عشان لما نيجي نعمل سوليوشن كده نبقى عارفين احنا انهي تكنولوجي محتاجينها. فثانك يو سو ماتش فور ذيس انتراكشن، وتفضلوا في اي وقت في البوث شوفوا الديمو وكل الكويشن. ثانك يو سو ماتش.
احنا لسه عندنا سيشن كمان، اخر واحده معانا النهارده. تمام. ثانك يو سو ماتش مستر روبرت اند مستر مدحت. ودلوقتي هنبدا معانا اخر سيشن وهيقدمها لنا مستر احمد مسعد، ماركتنج سينيور كونسلتنت ات هواوي نورثرن افريكا. والتوبيك بتاعنا عن measurable broadband experience handle challenges of uncertain external environments. Welcome مستر احمد.
مساء الخير، مع حضراتكم احمد مسعد، نورثرن افريكا ماركتنج سينيور كونسلتنت. احنا اولا في البدايه حابين نشكركم على تواجدكم معانا وعلى التفاعلات خلال كل السيشنز اللي فاتت مع كل الانوفيتيف سوليوشن والديجيتاليزيشن اللي هي انتوا شاركتوا معانا فيها. احنا النهارده جايين ننقل بعض الانسايتس والستاتستكس الخاصه بشركه اوميديا. اوميديا للي ما يعرفهاش هي واحده من اكبر شركات الريسيرش في الماركت وورلد وايد، المهتمه بالتليكوم اكتيفيتيز اكروس وورلد. وسبيشالي في الميدل ايست وافريكا، لان افريكا من اكتر المناطق اللي فيها بوتنشاليتي لعمليه الفايبر او الاف تي تي اتش او الديجيتاليزيشن ترانسفورميشن اللي احنا كلنا بنتارجتها. طبعا في اكتر من محور او فاكتورز المفروض ان هي بيتاكد عليها من خلال الاوميديا خلال عمليه الترانسفورميشن والديجيتالايز ديجيتال ترانسفورميشن المفروض تحصل using ال FTTH or ال FWA or ال 5G. كل ده هنشوفه دلوقتي، هيقدمه لنا سينيور سبيشالست في ريسيرش من اوميديا اسمه مستر دانسون نيجي ثرو فيديو. الفيديو هيكون حوالي 15 دقيقة، هيفوكس اكتر على عملية التحول الرقمي اللي المفروض انها تحصل خلال مصر داخل مصر، وازاي ان هو بيفوكس على ان يحصل ستاندردز ومعايير خاصة في عملية ال FTTH وازاي يتحول من FTTH لفايبر. زي ما كلنا عارفين ال DSL والكبر المفروض ان هو بيكفر مصر باكتر من 98%. في تارجت ان احنا نوصل له في خلال سنة 2027 ان الرقم ده يوصل لحوالي 63%، ويبقى الفرق ده حصل فيه عملية ترانسفورميشن لل FTTH. ده هيحصل من خلال ان انا اعمل فولو لمعايير معينة هتتحط من خلال الريجوليشنز والجفرمنت ثرو مثلا NTRA بالتعاون مع كل الاوبريتورز اللي موجوده في مصر اللي بيقدموا خدمه ال FTTH او ال DSL الفيكس بروب باند بشكل عام، وازاي ان انا اقدر ان انا اوصل لبنتريشن وسبسكرايبرز اكتر في خلال وقت قليل والجروث بتاع ال FTTH يكون اكبر. زي مثلا ما انتم عارفين ان عندنا 3 فاكتورز مهمين جدا. اول حاجه خالص هي مشروع ديسنت لايف وحياه كريمه اللي ابتدى من سنه 2021. حوالي اكتر من 1436 قريه تم تغطيتهم بال FTTH تكنولوجي. وفي نفس الوقت الديجيتال ترانسفورميشن بالتعاون مع الاوبريتورز اللي موجوده في مصر باكتر من سوليوشنز. وزي ما احنا عارفين ان مصر من اكتر الدول اللي عملت انفراستراكشر في الامسان او في الكبر، وصل لاكتر من 98% من خدمات الدي اس ال المفترض ان هي كفرد بحوالي 98%. احنا بنتارجت الرقم ده زي ما قلنا ان هو يقل ل 63% في عام 27. ده يحصل ازاي؟ من خلال انوفيتيف سوليوشنز كتيره جدا، منها زي انتوا عارفين ان عشان ان انا اعمل FTTH لازم اعمل سيفل وورك وانفراستراكشر وابدا اعمل احصل على حاجه اسمها ROW اللي هي رايت اوف ذا واي او حق الطريق ان انا اعمل حفر. فكل دي هيحصل فيه ريكومنديشن من اوميديا هنشوف دلوقتي حالا في الفيديو للريجوليشنز او الجفرمنت او ايفن الاوبريتورز اللي بيقدموا الخدمات دي والسب كونتراكتورز لعمليه وجود ستاندردز او معايير، زي مثلا ان انا اريموف او اقلل التاكسز الضرايب اللي حاصله سبيشالي مثلا على الراوتر او الاكويبمنت اللي بيحصل عليها العميل. وفي نفس الوقت ان انا احدد ستاندردز ومعايير خاصه بكواليتي اوف سيرفيس او كواليتي اوف اكسبيرينس اللي بتوصل للكاستمر، زي ان انا اضمن له ان السبيد اللي توصل له تكون مثلا مينيمم 50 ميجا بت بير سكند انستيد اوف مثلا 10 او 8 دلوقتي. فده كله هيساعدنا في عمليه التطور والتحول الرقمي. مش عايز اطول عليكم وخلينا ان احنا نبدا نتفرج على الفيديو سريعا ومدته 15 دقيقه هيورينا اكتر من statistics خاصه بالكلام اللي احنا قلناه دلوقتي. اتفضل.
Hello, my name is Dan Panjere. I'm a senior analyst with Ambia, going to deliver a presentation on delivering the promise of broadband in Egypt. This presentation is based on a new report that Ambia is producing for this event. The report is titled Delivering the Promise of Broadband in Egypt. I think to start the presentation, we need to ask ourselves a very important question on why Hello, my name is Dan Panjura. I'm a senior analyst with Ambia. Going to deliver a presentation on delivering the promise of broadband in Egypt. This presentation is based on a new report that Ambia is producing for this event. The report is titled Delivering the Promise of Broadband in Egypt. I think to start the presentation, we need to ask ourselves a very important question on why does broadband matter? So broadband is important because it plays a key role in accelerating the economic growth and also development in countries, and it's very critical in also increasing the GDP of countries. And a lot of research has been done around this area, mostly by the ITU and the World Bank. And looking at Egypt, we see that the ICT sector contributed about 5% to the total GDP in the year 2020-2021. And this was actually a slight increase from the previous year. And in terms of the growth, the ICT sector was also the fastest growing sector of the economy, with an annual growth rate of about 16%, which was actually a rise from 15% recorded in the previous year. So looking at the broadband market in Egypt, Egypt is one of the largest broadband markets in Africa. It actually has one of the largest broadband household penetration in Africa. And at the end of 2021, the penetration stood at about 41%. And at Omdia, we project that to increase to about 58% by 2027. This compares to about an average of 11%, regional average of about 11%, and also that is projected to increase to about 13.3%. So the household penetration growth is actually supported by the very high growth rate in subscription numbers. And at Omdia, we project that the total fixed broadband subscriptions will increase by about 53% between 2022 and 2027 to reach about 16.2 million. So what is driving all this growth? It's mainly the increase in demand, or the consumer demand for high-speed broadband services. And also significantly, we've seen service providers putting in a lot of investments in terms of improving the broadband infrastructure in the country. In terms of the technologies, the DSL technology is very well developed in Egypt, and it actually accounts for the largest number of fixed broadband subscriptions, about 98% by the end of 2021. However, this is being challenged, or the dominance is being challenged by the new technologies, mainly fiber and fixed wireless access. And from our projections, we see that the DSL market share will decline slightly to about 63% by the end of 2027. Why is fiber and FWA becoming popular? It's mainly because as we enter the gigabit era, these two technologies are promising to be the key technologies in terms of delivering the best or the gigabit speeds, and also the quality of experience to the consumers. And the key driver also for the development of these two technologies is mainly the very high consumer demand for high-speed services. So looking at the share of subscriptions, the consumer subscriptions by broadband speed, we see that Egypt is projected to record gigabit speeds from 2023. And by the end of 2027, we expect about 4% of the total consumer broadband subscriptions to access gigabit speeds. And this compares quite well with the global figures, because by the end of 2027, we expect that up to 32% of total fixed broadband subscriptions will actually access gigabit speed. And the technology that is best suited to deliver those speeds is fiber. We see also a trend in which FWA 5G is becoming quite popular, and especially in areas where it's very difficult to deploy fiber or very uneconomical to deploy fiber. So in countries such as Egypt, which have a significant infrastructure or DSL infrastructure, service providers need to really come up with strategies or good strategies that they can use to transition from copper to fiber over time. In terms of the fiber to the site, we see that Egypt remains, or the penetration of FTTS remains quite low in Egypt, at about 12% in 2022, and this compares to about 62% and 41% in countries such as South Africa and Namibia. And what is quite clear is that FTTS is actually the base infrastructure that supports other fiber broadband applications such as FTTB and FTTH. And that's why it's very important for service providers and governments to continue partnering to improve on the fiber rollout, so that can be able to increase the FTTH penetration, and obviously also increase the FTTB adoption. In terms of the government involvement in broadband development, the Egyptian government is very active, and this is seen through certain initiatives and strategies that the government has taken. For instance, we have the Decent Life Initiative, which is an initiative by the Ministry of Communication and Information Technology, and it was launched in 2019. And this initiative looks at improving the living conditions of people in the rural areas, and this is mainly through the provision of the connectivity. So the key goals of this initiative is mainly to install fiber connectivity in the rural areas, and also improve on the mobile network access through the installation of mobile base stations, as well as also expanding the distribution outlets, mainly through the setting up of outlets in post offices, and also increasing the digital literacy in the rural areas. So this initiative is actually being rolled out in 3 phases, and I believe the first and the second phase are ongoing. And the government has defined or has shared very clear targets on what they expect to achieve through this initiative. Another strategy is the Digital Egypt strategy, which is actually a holistic digital transformation strategy launched in the year 2020. And it looks at improving the digital infrastructure, and also looks at improving the capacity building, and also promoting the digital innovation. One key aspect of the Digital Egypt strategy is the plan to connect up to 32,000 government buildings with fiber by the end of 2022. Also, under this strategy, there's the Digital Egypt platform, which is basically an online platform through which the government is providing digital services to its citizens. Another aspect is on the quality of service, which is very important in terms of ensuring that consumers access reliable and good quality broadband services. And the regulator recently in 2019 launched the National Center for ICT Services Quality Control and Monitoring. And this is mainly to ensure that service providers comply in terms of providing the required KPIs for broadband services. Looking at this, well, the challenge here is the fact that most of the quality of service enforcement is mainly on mobile, voice, and data services. And I think the government has a very good plan to extend this to fixed broadband. For service providers, I think the opportunity remains in providing reliable and high-speed broadband services, and also enhancing quality of service. And that's why they need to continue investing in broadband infrastructure, and also ensuring that they expand their broadband service offering to their consumers. So we go to the recommendations from government and regulators. The first one is on the national broadband plans and strategies. This needs to be reviewed so that they can have clear targets, mainly on coverage and also on minimum speed for broadband services. And also the government needs to continue encouraging investment in the fixed broadband infrastructure and services. And this can be achieved by removing the bureaucracy mainly around network deployment, and also improving access on telecom facilities and physical infrastructure. Additionally, the government could also provide support, financial support, in terms of investment, in terms of incentives, in terms of subsidies. And this could also be achieved through the use of the Universal Service Access Fund. For the quality of service enforcement, I think the government needs to be very proactive in enforcing these standards by constantly ensuring that the quality of service metrics are measured and monitored. And for service providers who do not meet these requirements, then obviously they need to be penalized and encouraged to continue improving on that. Another thing the government should do is to try and reduce taxes on broadband services and devices. And this will mostly promote their adoption by ensuring that the services and devices are affordable to the end user. As we have seen in this presentation, 5G, FWA 5G is becoming a very popular technology. So I think the government has an opportunity and also an obligation to provide 5G spectrum to service providers, and also provide other incentives for the deployment of 5G and also the FWA. And in terms of ensuring that the broadband and digital ecosystem grows, then there needs to be some form of partnership. And I think the government can play a very important role in ensuring that they introduce flexibility in how these partnership arrangements are done between service providers and other stakeholders. And lastly, government has a role to provide digital literacy and skills to the end users, and mainly in the rural areas. The service providers, the recommendation or the key recommendation is for them to continue investing in broadband infrastructure. So this is mainly on fiber and FWA 5G, so that they can be able to support high speeds and better quality of experience. Also, they need to formulate the right network migration strategies, and this is mainly for the service providers who run the copper or the legacy copper networks. So they need to come up with good strategies to be able to migrate to fiber, and also to migrate their users to these new technologies. In terms of affordability, service providers also need to come up with strategies on how to make their services quite affordable, and particularly to users or consumers in the rural and underserved areas. And lastly, they need service providers could also partner with government in terms of standardizing equipment, and also in terms of developing partnerships that will strengthen the digital and broadband ecosystem.
كده اخر سيشن معانا النهارده خلصت، ودلوقتي هيبقى في مراسم لسايننج MOU ما بين هواوي وشركه تيليتك.